Imagine watching a viral video of a dog reuniting with its mother after 5 long years apart. They wag their tails, they sniff each other, they jump around. The internet goes wild, crying tears of joy. But are you actually watching a heartwarming family reunion? Or are you just projecting human emotions onto two animals that simply recognize a familiar smell from their past? The truth is far more complex. And honestly, it is a little bit disturbing. Every single day, millions of animals are separated from their parents shortly after birth. Puppies go to new homes. Calves are moved to different pastures. Wild animals scatter to build their own territories. You have probably wondered if they remember the face of the creature that gave them life. If you placed an animal face to face with its mother 10 years later, would a switch flip in their brain? Today, we are going deep into the neurological hard drive of the animal kingdom. Welcome to the hidden world of kin recognition. This is not just a biological parlor trick. Knowing who your family is determines whether you survive, who you can safely mate with, and how you build alliances in a brutal world. We humans rely on sight and complex social narratives to remember our parents. We have photographs, we have stories, we have spoken language, but animals do not have photo albums. They rely on physiological triggers that are so powerful they can literally rewrite their brain chemistry. We are going to explore the exact mechanisms of how different species remember their bloodlines. We will look at your pets at home. We will examine massive mammals in the wild. We will study birds that face impossible odds. By the end of this journey, you will completely change how you view the animals in your life. Let us start with the animals sleeping on your couch right now. Dogs. Do they remember their parents? The scientific answer is yes, but not in the way you do. Dogs do not have a visual concept of a family tree. They operate almost entirely on an olfactory imprint. A landmark 1994 study published in the journal Chemosensory Perception by Dr. Peter Hepper tested exactly this. He took dogs that had been separated from their mothers at the standard 8 weeks of age. 2 years later, he placed cloths scented by the mothers and cloths scented by strange dogs in a room. The adult dogs overwhelmingly gravitated toward the scent of their mothers. But here is the critical nuance that makes this study so fascinating. It was not a perfectly symmetrical memory. When the mothers were tested to see if they remembered their puppies, the results were highly dependent on how the puppies had matured. The mothers recognized the baseline scent, but the environmental diet and lifestyle of the adult puppy sometimes masked their original biological signature. It proves that memory in the animal kingdom is fluid and deeply tied to current environmental factors. But here is where the science gets completely flipped on its head. What happens when we look at animals with brains much larger and more complex than dogs? Let us talk about African elephants. Elephants are famous for never forgetting. But how true is that when it comes to their parents and extended family? In the year 2000, Dr. Karen McComb published a groundbreaking study in the Proceedings of the Royal Society B. She wanted to test the limits of elephant memory in the wild. Her team hid massive speakers in the African bush. They played the low-frequency contact calls of different elephants to various herds. The results were staggering. Elephants could recognize the distinct vocal calls of up to 100 different family members. This included parents and aunts they had not seen in over a decade. But McComb added a layer of nuance that changed everything we know about animal cognition. She discovered that this incredible memory was strictly tied to the age of the matriarch leading the herd. The older the mother, the better the herd was at recognizing calls. This means kin recognition in elephants is not just a genetic default. It is a learned social skill that is passed down through generations. If an elephant loses its mother too early, it literally loses its ability to recognize its own extended family later in life. Think about your own memory for a second. Have you ever smelled a specific perfume or heard a song from your childhood? and suddenly you were transported back to a specific room with a specific person. You felt the exact emotions you felt 20 years ago. That is exactly how animal memory operates, but on a life or death survival level. For them, memory is not nostalgia. Memory is a roadmap for survival. This next part is what nobody wants to admit about the animal kingdom. Sometimes, remembering your parents is not about love. It is about avoiding genetic disaster. In the wild, mating with a sibling or a parent is a catastrophic mistake that leads to weak offspring. So how do animals that leave the nest avoid this when they run into their family years later? Enter the concept of phenotype matching. This is an incredibly sophisticated biological process. An animal learns its own scent, or the scent of its parents during infancy, and uses it as a template for the rest of its life. In 2002, Dr. Jill Matteo published a fascinating study in the Proceedings of the Royal Society B, focusing on Belding ground squirrels. These squirrels live in massive, chaotic colonies. Mothers are constantly surrounded by hundreds of other squirrels. Dr. Matteo proved that these squirrels use an armpit sniff test. They literally smell the oral and dorsal glands of other squirrels. The squirrels compare the scent of the stranger to the internal template they memorized from their mother. If the scent is too close to their mother, they know it is family. They will not mate with them. The nuance here is that they do not need to consciously remember the mother as a loving parent. They just need the biological barcode she gave them. But hold on, because there is one creature that takes this to a terrifying new level. Let us dive into the freezing waters of the ocean and look at emperor penguins. Imagine a colony of 10,000 penguins. The noise is deafening. The wind is howling. A parent goes out to sea for weeks to hunt. They leave the chick behind in a massive daycare center of identical-looking baby birds. When the parent returns, how on earth do they find their specific child? They do not use smell. They do not use sight. They use a highly complex acoustic signature. A 2000 study by Aubin and Juvantin in the journal Animal Behavior revealed the mechanics behind this. The penguins use a two-voice system. Because of the structure of their vocal tract, they produce two interacting frequencies at the exact same time. This creates a vocal barcode that cuts through the massive background noise of the colony. It is nature's version of the cocktail party effect. The chick and the parent remember this specific frequency lock for years. But what happens when an animal is robbed of these crucial developmental months? When we breed animals in captivity, separate them too early, and place them in artificial environments, we are entirely disrupting this delicate biological sequence. Animals deprived of their mothers during the critical imprinting phase often display severe behavioral and social deficits later in life. They lose the neurological map that tells them who they are and where they belong. So do animals actually know who their parents are after years of separation? The answer is a resounding yes, but their definition of knowing is vastly different from ours. They do not hold on to sentimental memories of bedtime stories. They hold on to olfactory barcodes, acoustic signatures, and learned social hierarchies. Their memories are etched into their DNA, forged by the brutal necessity of survival. It is a beautiful, complex, and sometimes tragic system that connects the animal kingdom in invisible ways. If this journey into the animal mind blew your mind, you know exactly what to do. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a deep dive. Share this video with someone who loves their pets just a little too much. Let us know in the comments below which animal memory fact surprised you the most. Until next time, keep questioning everything you see.